Just a reminder, I have over 200 car videos on my channel. So get on and take a peek. You might find something else you like. This is the 2017 Toyota Yaris IA, which, if it looks familiar, used to be sold as the Scion IA. But actually, it's based on the Mazda Model 2, which is no longer sold in this country. Sounds a bit confusing, doesn't it? Overall, this is a nice looking car. It's not going to turn heads everywhere you park, but it's handsome enough, and it looks good in this metallic blue paint. Unlike other car manufacturers that lowball you with a cheap price and tack on thousands and thousands of dollars worth of options, this particular Toyota comes pretty well equipped with everything as standard equipment. Even then, the price is still reasonable. If you'll pardon my shaking hand, here's a list of all the standard goodies you get. If you see anything that interests you, you can just freeze the frame. And there you have the total price with shipping. As with all of my YouTube videos, the first thing we do when we get a vehicle is take it out at night and test the headlights. So why don't we just do that right now? It's dark enough, so let's try these headlights out and see how they perform. Here we have the headlight low beams on a wall 100 feet away. More than adequate light. Switch to the high beam. Can't complain here. More than adequate light again. Here we have the low beams on a building 300 feet away. More than adequate light. Brights even more so. It's Friday night, 1 in the morning. I see we have a vehicle that doesn't belong there. The car's shaking. What's it saying? If the cars are rocking, don't come a knocking. There's a strip club right next door. Not a surprise, huh? But this is a family show rated GP for general audiences, so I will not elaborate any further. Getting back to the car, let's look at the engine, a 1.5 liter, putting out 106 horsepower. It's available with a 6-speed manual, which will give you 30 to 39 mpg, or a 6-speed automatic like we have, with a higher rating of 32 to 40 mpg. We'll be doing some driving to get the real-world fuel economy coming up later in the video. This cabin isn't anything fancy, but the materials are real sturdy, and all of the controls are rather simple. You can actually fit 2 mid-sized adults in the second row seating. The glove box is huge, surprising for a small car. You can put a lot of stuff in there. I want you to take a close look at this very simple climate control system, the way that all climate control systems should be. 3 simple knobs: temperature, fan speed, and fan routing, with a couple of buttons. It doesn't get any easier than this. Not so easy are the controls for the navigation, communications, etc., etc. You got the knob, buttons, giving you all types of settings. There's a learning curve here. Once you get it, you'll be okay, but for the first few days, it's kind of a pain in the... One complaint we did have about the interior, the sun visors don't slide back and forth, so on a hot sunny day, it's hard to block out the sun on the side windows. There are alternative solutions to this after you buy the car, but it would be nice if they fix this at the factory. If you have a lot of stuff to put in your trunk, won't be a problem here. This thing is huge. And yes, you do get a spare tire. For brisk drivers, the automatic transmission does have a sport mode button, and this engine does love to rev, so it comes in handy when you're in a hurry. While this is being sold as an economy car, being designed by Mazda, it has a lot of sporty car features, like the power steering. Very quick and responsive, about as nice as the one as their MX-5 sports car. Even though we're dealing with only 106 horsepower, this engine loves to be driven and driven hard all the way up to a 6,500 RPM redline. If you order the 6-speed manual transmission, you're going to have a ball with this. In the case of the 6-speed automatic in sport mode, not quite as fun, but pleasant enough. Even though there are no paddle shifters for this automatic, you can shift it over to the manual shift mode. But I prefer the sport mode and automatic. It's just as quick. Takes a while to spool up, but you'll get there. Nice brakes, by the way. The handling in tight corners is very nice too, but I don't have anywhere to demonstrate that, so let's move on to the speed bump test. This is a very smooth riding vehicle, so I don't think we're going to have a problem passing this test. Bump number 1 at 25 miles per hour. Hardly felt a thing. Here's one at 30 miles per hour. Heard it, but didn't really feel it. One of the biggest complaints I get with the many small cars with slanted windshield is the dash reflects into the glass, blocking your view, but I'm getting a little bit of reflection, but not enough to worry about. No complaints there. In 80 miles of driving, about 85% city, 15% expressway, we're doing 26.8 mpg. We'll try later on to see if we can do better. We're going to reset the mileage computer to 0. Then we're going to take a quick expressway trip, see if we get some better fuel economy figures on this dash. We're done with our trip. We were averaging 70 miles per hour, 38.2 mpg. That's a lot more like it. I'm pretty sure if I dropped the speed to 55 miles per hour, we would pass the 40 mpg mark. But the car likes to be driven fast. I don't think I'm going to get a chance to do that. We're going to reset the computer and do one more fuel economy test. And you'll note it's 101 degrees outside. I don't know how that affects the fuel economy, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. Our speed on this trip is going to be set at 65 miles per hour. So here we go, by keeping the speed around 65 miles per hour or less, not doing any passing, 43.8 mpg, can't complain about that. I have to give this car back tomorrow and I've got plenty of gas left, so we're going to take one more fuel economy test and see if we can max it out. So we're going to take a night trip with the cruise control set at 55 miles per hour. That should give us the maximum mileage, so stay tuned. We've gone 15 miles and already reached 46.4 mpg. Looking good. Okay, we're done with our trip, 57.4 miles. Let's see what the fuel economy was. Well, we did it. We went over the 50 mpg mark. 53.7. Now, in all fairness, this isn't normal driving, at least not for me. I would never drive at 55 miles per hour on a freeway, but there are some people out there who do that. If you're one of them, you might get mileage like this. It's better than the Toyota Prius I had last year. That's all I can say. Here's my take on this Yaris. What I like about this car is there's nothing to really dislike about this car. The steering, handling, braking, seat comfort, engine performance, fuel economy. This is really one of the best cars you'll ever buy for less than $18,000. Period. We can thank Toyota for bringing it to market, but we have to thank Mazda since they're the ones that designed the car, and it shows. They do make good vehicles. Very fun to drive. So if you're looking for a good, reliable, small car with fun performance and the fuel economy of a hybrid, here you go.